asking patients that we sit down with to open up and tell us their story and share with us in a very frank way some of the most difficult experiences of their lives. That's a situation where we want to do everything we can to create a safe space. We want to take systematic steps to make that possible. We want to pick a private space to have the conversation. We want to do a rigorous informed consent process. So we want them to understand as part of that why we're here and how valuable and important it is to hear their frank, just completely open, honest perspectives. We call them life history interviews because we actually began from when the participants we were talking to were born, and had them tell us about their lives. And there are a few reasons why that's important. One reason is that we didn't want to assume that the challenges that were blocking our patients' children from getting the care that they needed began the moment that child got sick. Maybe some of those challenges began before. Maybe a lot of those challenges began before. And so starting from the birth of the mother we were talking to seemed like a good way to keep that open-ended, right? And it has other advantages too, right? That approach, because you start by really getting to know the person you're talking to as a person, their particular story. And as they tell you their story, there's a different kind of relationship because you become someone who wants to know their story, who cares about their story, them as a particular person. That positions you not as someone who thinks of them as a patient, as an object, as a statistic. You've positioned yourself as someone who cares about them as another human being. And so that changes the dynamic of the conversation, perhaps, and perhaps creates a warmer environment to have an intimate and frank conversation about some really hard topics. Because we were asking in this situation mothers to talk about their children dying. I can't think of anything more intense or painful to talk about. We had to create a safe space and a space of trust with folks that our interviewers were just meeting for the first time. So those were some of the things that we did to try to make that happen. Doing this process in the best way that you can recreate it is one of the most important things you can do to prevent yourself from doing harm. If you don't think that you yourself are the best person to conduct these interviews or to do this research or analysis yourself, then finding other people to team up with to help you do it is another good way to go. But just knowing that this is a step that could save your patients' lives, knowing that this is a step that could save you from wasting money or resources that you have in scarce supply. I think that at whatever depth or level of rigor you are able and ready to take on this kind of process, it is likely to help you serve your patients better.